No. But I would say my son-in-law helped me out.
Oh, yes. Where do they want to go?
You not be bad. Do it like 5 cents.
For the year I was on there, and you know, my podium, my hand was frozen. So cold.
Well, in my memory of it, when I did it, I showed up in the morning. Then ranks there. He made me go home, and I had to go home. It's like 90 degrees. Once you arrive here, you still see where I'm going to sit. But I know it almost looks the same, but it's I wrote that out.
When I got
Sit down, I get up on the dais, stay up there, get a chair, and go back up.
They still do it on a flatbed truck?
no.
Well, the stage.
I did. It's a big deal.
Maybe we should say yes.
All right, everyone. Hello. Nope.
Hello.
All right, we could start with introductions of guests and visiting Rotarians. There are a lot today, but Alan and I, we do have a guest.
Part of our club, come back.
All right, I have the benefit of the microphone. Welcome back, Veronica. I have the benefit of the microphone, but I will tell you between the fan and this other device, barely hear anybody out there. So please talk loud. Anybody else? No other guests? All right. Announcements. I'm gonna start with one. We do have volunteers for 2 upcoming fireside chats. One left in my year and one in the next year. So I'm gonna invite Jeff Stoner up to talk about the first one. They're gonna be the next host of the next fireside chat.
Okay, well, we'll be sending an email out with the details, but it's June 3rd. It's a Wednesday night, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. We can host up to 20 people. We'll have some light served snacks, maybe a couple pizzas, but not too heavy, and some beverages, water, maybe some wine stuff. Beer and wine, definitely beer. All right, so just I guess it's first come, first serve. Again, we can handle about 20. Hopefully, we'll be out on our patio in the back, as long as the weather cooperates. And again, be an email coming out with reiterating details and with the address. I don't have a fireplace. No fire pit. Yeah, it is.
All right, well, thank you both, Jeff, for agreeing to post. Or I'm sorry.
I got one other announcement.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can come back. All right. So one other announcement. So last call for the roadside cleanup tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. We've lost some of our volunteers in the last week or so. So there's plenty of room. Weather forecast looks good. Shay promises to bring some special donuts with him. So let me know before we do today if we can make it. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Jeff. And with respect to the fireside chat, if you want to, first of all, at the board meeting today, we're going to try to have everyone who's having events get it back on Club Runner, so I'll work with you to do that. We also decided that we'll probably have as a presentation next year, a Club Runner Day, so that everyone can become re-familiarized with Club Runner. But with respect to their fireside chats, please forward to me or one of the other board members the topics that you would like to discuss at that meeting. Obviously, we had the other one, we had a fresh start, so I don't feel we need to do that unless that really becomes an issue again. Let's this is to get discussion going through the club, address the future, the past, the present of the club. All right, other announcements. Randy.
So I wanted to bring the club up today. You know, I spent the last year attending all those international meetings at night, sitting there for 2 hours. I finally selected a project that I think it would, you know, represent you guys really well. The project is in Cali, Colombia, and it's really the money is going to be spent on the project for kids 0 to 8 years old out in a remote community where there is very little help for these parents in terms of taking care of the kids when they're out working, things like that. They can't afford it basically. And so the money is going to be used to provide education for these kids, learning tools for them, and also provide the parents with the needs so that they can go out and do work and their kids can be in a place in the hospital where they can actually be getting education on learning centered programs. And I thought that the money would be well spent in that project as opposed to sharing money out to multiple projects. So I took the DDF funds that we have and I put it towards that use for those kids in Colombia. So I will provide you updates on the project and how the money is spent. So I did request for some videos, the type of kids and things like that, so we can keep track of the development of these families and their kids. All right. So thank you for the opportunity to be part of the program to do this project. I did say earlier that what I would like to do is really have a project where our group, this club, can say, hey, this is our project, as opposed to giving money to a project with being held by other people. I cannot tell you how much I dislike when I'm being interrupted. Anyhow, want me to take care of that tech? I would like you to take care of it. You know, I could take care of it, but they wouldn't like the outcome. Yeah, right. All right. Thank you very much, guys.
You know, in keeping with empowering kids or people, we had our toolkit awards last Friday. You know, it's I had to write it down, and this is what it was funny. First, I have to thank the club because, you know, I really appreciate being allowed to do this project. It feeds me to my soul, so I appreciate part of it. We are in process of changing the trajectory of 22 families this year. We're giving away 22 tools. That's a lot. We gave away 17 last Friday. 4 electricians, or I'm sorry, 4 aviation mechanics, 1 electrician. So we're varying it a bit, and it was really an impressive time. Sometimes I have difficulty talking about it because it's one of those most deeply emotional places for me. It's the best day of my Rotary year. Every day it's a good day, but this is the best. And you know, you got to remember that 65% of these kids come from low poverty families. So a $2,000 toolkit is a heavy lift for a lot of these guys. And when you give them that opportunity to receive a kit, it strengthens the entire community. And we know that. But, you know, when you see it, when you see the appreciation in that room, the energy is just incredible. The relationship that the school staff has with those kids, the respect that they have for the staff, the appreciation that you see in the kids' eyes, the parents' eyes, when they're seeing their kids walk across, receiving that sticker to put on their own toolkit, it's a pretty amazing feeling. It builds dignity, confidence, and it gives them the ability to walk into a shop ready to work. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. It's a message to these kids that, you know, we respect you and we respect what you've done and you're worthy of investment. So again, I appreciate the opportunity and thanks so much. Yeah. We had 2 women, 2 girls receive toolkits. In fact, it was I was telling Bob, one of the dads, one of the girls came up to me afterwards and he had tears in his eyes. He was so thankful because he said we wouldn't be able to do this. And she got a $4,000 scholarship. So she was really well supported. She's a champion in that group. But thanks. 2 non-traditional, we got some more. In fact, that's an interesting thing because we're seeing more women enroll, and you know, there's really a lot of room because we had the owner of Neighborhood Super was there, and he had his regional service manager from, I don't know, 12 individual auto dealerships, and they were saying at the end of this, first of all, they hired 2 of the kids or received kids underage, 18, but not certified, so they could only do porter kinds of things. But he said they come out of that program with one of the best soft skill abilities of how to interact, the responsibility, the on-time stuff, all those basic skills that are just absolutely vital to success. They said, we've never seen anything like this program. We've been to a number of high school training programs. This is one of the best we've seen. But Tom was there, you know, the feeling that was going on. Did you have a chance to talk to those guys, the super guys? They were very, very impressed. And the women going through, Patrick Cadillac was another one. They contacted me several times about how many women might be enrolled in the program. And now we're able to report that we're successful in recruiting stuff. I don't want to take it to myself, but thanks.
So I can speak for everyone. Thank you. Thank us for doing it, but you're great for life. So thank you.
Oh, just a heads up. In many past years, a lot of you have come to the difficult Junior Memorial Fireworks Show. It's shot from a footbridge over the Fox River between East and West Dundee. It's happening again this year in the Memorial Weekend, Sunday, May 24 of that Sunday. But just a heads up, if any of you are interested, obviously it starts sometime after dusk, but you need to get there early to find a good viewing spot alongside the river. Second thing, Nancy and Alan and Bonnie and I were supposed to go to the Woodstock Opera House for a performance of the Eagles. They call it Heartbreak Tonight. So we got 4 tickets. Neither couple can go. So I'm offering these tickets to somebody who would be willing to make a donation to the club foundation. The performance is Saturday, May 9, obviously in Woodstock. The tickets, 4 tickets are $160. So if there's anybody who's interested, like make an offer to the foundation, maybe $50 or something. Anybody interested? Sure. Okay. Anybody else? Don't cut it to bidding here. Okay, they're yours.
Hello, friendly club. I just like hearing my name. I just want to remind you for public image that I am doing my best to get things out on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. My way of working, because my schedule is so hectic, is that I do it all at the end of the month for the upcoming month. So all the everything is pre-scheduled in those things to just go out when they should on people's birthdays or anniversaries, etc. So if there are photos of anything in particular that you're attending, that you're hosting, that you need to get to me, feel free to email or text those to me. I just don't have set times that I'm doing it, so I try to get it out as soon as possible, but I can't know everything that's going on and be everywhere where all the events are. But I want the public to know about the good news. So if you could be really mindful about sending things to me, even maybe a little blurb, couple sentences about whatever it is, I'm more than happy to put it out for public image. I just need to get it from. So thank you so much for your help.
And it goes along with what we talked about. Also, we're trying to get everything in the club runner, which will help measure as well. And also, we should all start using that again to track when we're going to attend and not attend events. Follow-up announcements. June 24th is the SLFS golf outing. Technically our third major fundraiser for the foundation. We do need volunteers, we need golfers, volunteers, and what was the third thing? I know there was a third. Well, money, yeah, money. That goes without saying. But in any event, we need to have a good showing, because if we have a showing like last year, our affiliation with them is going to be done. We need to be more like what the year before, which was very important. I know we have another meeting with that committee coming up soon. When we have more information, start sending it out. But please remember that it's June 24th. Please plan on participating in some way, volunteering or golfing. I know there's a number of us that have already done the golf sign up. Also, June 26th is Diane's installation lunch here. It will be similar to last year, where we'll start and go a little bit longer. So the 24th and the 26th, and then also this year, our club is the Memorial Day weekend. I, as the president and the NC, but we're going to need volunteers. I'm just starting to get information on that. That is on Memorial Day, which I believe is the 26th, 25th this year. 25th. All right, so we will need volunteers.
Next door.
At St. Peter's Lutheran Church. So please keep those dates in mind. And with that, we have sort of a tight schedule today. We're going to start off with happy dollars. And so I'm flying solo today. Some emergencies happened with some people. So if you collect money, please, if you're collecting happy dollars, please put it in the happy dollar envelope. We'll separate that out from the other filing separately later. So with that, who's happy today? Nancy. All right, thank you. Anybody else happy? John?
Yeah, $20 happy dollars. So that 12 o'clock noon, South Carolina. My granddaughter walked out of her last law class. She takes the bar exam on Tuesday.
Good luck. All right. Anybody else? I need a collector at some point. Alan.
I have $10 happy dollars. 5 Monica being here today, and 5 for Don. And that's $10.
All right. Mary.
$5 speaking at the call in Palestine, if you're up for a third concert, my
All right. Roger.
$20 happy dollars, 10 for my project selection committee. Everybody gets $3,000. Last weekend, West Rock and I joined a team of total age 20 that ran across the southern Pacific of the lake, 80-mile run total. 8 of us. I don't know if you know this, but it's not platinum. The front was really fun, waiting to see building, and I got to do it.
All right. Congratulations. Ed.
I have $20 happy dollars. We spent 2 weeks in Aruba. The beauty of the last 4 days is I got to watch the cameras in my front yard as the water came up over my seawall and into my front yard. So, but everything will work out all right.
All right, I have $5 Oh, Jeff's not here, but Jason is still killing it in baseball. He's played all the 8 innings of this year, and it's phenomenal to see him doing it as a freshman in high school. So all that work paid off. Jean,
I have $20 because the garden work that they do, which that I need to have a rock, start. But that and brother, when I'm saying, and got it rolling for the season. It's good.
all right, well, that,
I came in, and Mary was right in front of me, and I got the pretty bucket closer than she did. So, anyway, so I'm gonna, about $5 for that.
all right, thank you.
Little.
Veronica,
$5 for the hour.
all right, well, welcome back. Anybody else happy?
Mom.
Well,
The microphone, I would. That was bad.
Congratulations. All right, anybody else happy? Gene,
I have $10 for we let him go. I use the Bartlett. $20 for my daughter Bailey. She made it to the second round in the national competition. And we got screened because she got that she's writing and we directly in the summer. And so now
all right, congratulations to your daughter. The other $50. All right, Alan, I'll bring you up now. You need to get into the program. Go up and do some fun and frolic, please.
Hello, friendly club. I need some people to collect money, if they would please. Vince, Mary, Lauren. So Lauren, it's you, Debbie, and Randy sitting at that table. Anybody else? Roger. Okay, so John's sitting over here. So I don't understand why there's empty seats at other tables, but the 4 of you decided to sit there. Is that an elitist table or an independent? Okay, good. So that'd be $2 each. If you're late, that's $2. If you're not wearing your badge, that's $2. If you're not wearing your pin, that's $2. I'm going to when Jean Schlinkman does Fun and Frolic, she always has a quiz, and she's going to be coming back to the club soon. In fact, Jean, who isn't even here, is going to participate in the SLS golf outing. So if you're not playing or sponsoring in the SLSF golf outing, June 24th, that's $5. Because as our illustrious president says, that's our third biggest fundraiser, even though I always thought I was. So Gene always has a quiz. So here's the quiz today. Today is National Something Day. And I'm going to give you 3 choices. Is it Left-Handers Day, Bucket List Day, or Taco Day? So if anybody thinks, did someone call out something? If anybody thinks it's, everybody who thinks it's Left-Handers Day, raise your hand. Okay. Okay. Everybody who thinks that it's Bucket List Day, raise your hand. And everybody who thinks it's Taco Day, raise your hand. Boy, are we gonna make a lot of money today. Today is Bucket List Day. Whatever, you know, so if you have a bucket list, today's your day. Anita, you're sitting at this table here, and we couldn't help but comment, somebody at our table couldn't help but comment that you brought the average age of that table down 20 years. Yeah, so everybody at the table pays $2 because you have the pleasure of Anita sitting with you.
Younger than I, so I just wanted to point that.
Yeah, well, Ted doesn't count, he's the president.
Oh.
If you are not going to the roadside cleanup tomorrow, to help Jeff Stoner, that'll be $2. How many people watched the NFL draft last night? Okay, good, that's $2. And those of you, how many people did not watch the NFL draft last night? That's $2. How many people here didn't even know the NFL draft was on last night? Okay, you get a pass. If you didn't help Jeff and Eileen at the CAC Garden, that of course is $2. If you're not wearing Rotary attire, I mean, only a couple people are wearing Rotary attire. Me and shockingly, Mike Erickson is wearing Rotary attire. Jack, of course, and Jeff and Bruce Stockey. So if you're not wearing Rotary attire, that'll be $2. And if you did not respond to the phenomenal, outstanding, incredible survey that Anita Frank put together, that'll be $5 because it goes towards our biggest fundraiser of the year, the Rotary Classic. Anybody here not be fined yet today? Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Alan. If you want to avoid Rotary apparel fines in the future, there are still 2 more days left to order Rotary apparel. Rachel sent out a link 2 weeks ago. Sunday is the deadline. So go on there and order your Rotary apparel. And although I was apparently not part of the table's age, I also am wearing Rotary apparel, which I got last time from Rachel's friend. So there are a number of items on there, both lightweight and heavy. So go out there and get it, and then you can avoid that fine until change. All right. Roger, I'm going to bring you up. Today, last year, at project selection, it was pointed out that in the past, years ago, that the club would be presented the proposed project selection of recipients. And in some cases, votes were even held. We had gotten away from that for years, so we did make that. Today is the presentation of those, and to the extent necessary, the vote. And then on June 5th will be the actual ceremony where the funds are passed out to the recipients. And with that, I turn it over to Roger.
Hello, friendly club. For some reason, I'm reminded that one of my favorite retro songs is I Hear You Knocking by Dave Edmunds. We're in the spirit of Peter, Paul, and Mary, we're gonna hammer out, because I have a hammer out project selection. I'm gonna start by introducing my committee. And I'm gonna ask you to come up to the front, because when we get to your project, we're gonna have you present. Debbie, and maybe John will help, is gonna hand out the spreadsheet for the projects that we looked at. And while she's doing that, I'd like to thank Bill Kelly, who couldn't be here today, Ken Bush, who's not here today,
Nancy Redmond, who wouldn't miss this day if it for any reason. Pat Groenwald, Gillette Johnson, John Selkie, the wrestler, and Debbie Schmidt. Let's hear it for those guys. And if you're in the room, I'd love it if you would come up here to say. So John, I'm gonna have you go first. This is gonna go in the order of the spreadsheet. So I just want you to tell them about the Autism Resource Center. And then later we'll tell them about the NSSDO when we get to that spot. So just want you to recap what the project is, what you like about it. And everybody will have the recommended dollars that we're recommending to give them on that spreadsheet. It has both what they asked for and what we're proposing to award. And the first thing you should know about that is that the requests add up to more than $54,000 and the budget is $25,000. We have to make some hard decisions. And as chairman, I had to make some decisions also about our member like John or whomever that made a recommendation for money, in some cases less than they actually recommended. So take it away, John.
Thank you, Roger. I just want to tell all my Rotarian friends that it's a distinct honor to once again be part of this committee. I had the pleasure of interviewing April Kano from District 54 Autism Resource Center. Their original request was $7,000. My recommendation is a minimum of $3,250. District 54 Autism Center was established in 2018. They received Rotary Project selection grants in 2022 of $2,000, in 23, $7,000, in 24, $3,750, in 25, $5,000. Our previous donations were used to purchase adaptive instruments for students with physical disabilities, low-level reading skills, and to promote literacy across the students with intellectual disabilities. District 54 Center has rebranded itself now to a new title. It's now going to be District 54 NEST, N-E-S-T, which stands for Navigating Educational Support Together as a Lending Library. This will provide a strategic shift toward the inclusive and collaborative reading skills that are necessary to support not only the students, but also the parents. It is now the center hub of the instructional materials lending them to teachers, students, and the families to provide support for these students in need. April Kano and I talked exclusively about all the materials that she is requesting for the project. She provided me with an Excel sheet listing and emphasizing that their goal was to provide also this year multicultural printed brochures and adaptive materials to accommodate the rapid increase of District 54 families in need. The multicultural brochures also provide expected classroom behavior skills to enhance learning, which many students do not possess because of language difficulties. They need to learn and they need to understand why they are being counseled in a particular manner. Language is the most difficult barrier to these students. Counseling sessions for families is extremely important to provide opportunity for the students and the parents to achieve success. Our donation grant will provide prioritized items. This grant was used to purchase all of the materials she requested, just the paper brochures, and that would be $6,779.73. April would welcome Rotarians to assist in labeling over 200 items this summer. And all of them would be labeled donated by the Rotary Club of Schaumburg Upper States. This would also be highlighted in their parent memos that they send out to over 1,200 families in the district. But what I want you to remember is what Jeff Miller said at the Classic. It's for the kids. Thank you.
Okay, next was Ken Bush. He investigated the Boys and Girls Club could not be here today, is attending a funeral in Arizona. So they're asking for money for a project for they call Keystone Leadership Program that helps teens do community service and work toward being community leaders. By doing projects in Hoffman Estates and Schaumburg, which includes outreach to homeless people in those communities, they qualify to go to a program in Florida called the Keystone Leadership Program. The funds that we would supply them with would help them with bags, transportation expenses, and meals to do those projects. They were asking for $6,000. We're proposing $3,000. The next project is Child Voice. That was investigated by Bill Kelly. Bill could not be here today. You guys may remember this group. They work with deaf children and their families. They are proposing for grants to help coach, train family members and caregivers, most of whom have never had to deal with a deaf child. There's more. So they are requesting $5,000 to provide intervention, teaching and family training for 3 families. They estimate that as many as 20 Rotary clubs have helped their efforts, and they receive no money from federal or state. So again, they asked for 5, we're proposing 2,500. Next up is Linda Dressler to talk about Family Forward.
Even though I want to, I won't say hello friendly club. Hi, guys. So Family Forward, requested $3,800. They are an organization that, this is their mission, strengthening low-income working families in the northwest suburbs towards financial independence and stability through mentoring, rental assistance, and other support services. So over the past 5 years, we've donated to them. This year they're asking for $3,800. They say that that will help subsidize for 2 months, three Hoffman Estates Schaumburg families that are within their organization. Our numbers have dwindled there. And they also have a need for just gift cards for school supplies, clothing, food, and things for the children. So the committee made a decision to offer them $1,000 for gift cards that will go to the families.
Goodbye, Linda. Thanks for that presentation. Next up will be Pat Gromwell. I expected her to hear, so communication must have been crossed there. I don't have a presentation for her, but we all know how thorough Pat is. And she did talk to Fellowship Housing. They help single moms and family housings and wraparound services, they're called. They have a project called Room to Grow. They were requesting $7,500. We're proposing $3,400.
I have a report.
Yeah, come on up, ladies and gentlemen, John Selk.
Thank you. Pat had sent me a recommendation when I was building mine. A recommendation was for a fellowship housing grant request. The original request was for $7,500. And her recommendation is to fund them a minimum of $3,500. Fellowship Housing, FH, has reported to our club on their activities in person on several occasions. They have received grants through project selection in 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. And each project included current proposals focused on providing support for children involved. In the pandemic and the post-pandemic years, the emphasis has been on counseling, enrichment activities, and ensuring appropriate child care during COVID shutdown period. For the past 2 years, their projects have included bedroom furnishings, bedding items, livings, and assisted with grocery carts and cooking utensils. The Room to Grow project this year requested in addition to bedroom furniture that will belong to the children and will go to them when they transition into permanent housing at the end of that 2-year program. I had a very productive, enjoyable conversation with project contact Betsy Kennedy. And the goal was the acquisition of bedroom furniture and everything that goes with that to create a secure, relatively private place for the kids. Many of whom have been living in cars, couches, or just surfing from place to place and even back porch. Having something of their own can really be important to these young people. The overall support detailed in the prior grant reports will continue. The requested funds for new families entering the program in Schaumburg this year. The goal of the fellowship housing is for single mothers and their children to become independent within that 2-year period. Job counseling, financial management, coaching, debt reduction training, and other life skills are a part of the structured program for moms. FH assists with transportation issues such as car repairs, etc., working with agencies in the area. FH maintains apartments in 60 communities in Illinois where these families are housed. There are 22 apartments that are located in the Schaumburg-Hoffman Estates area. This is the largest concentration in the state of Illinois. In 2025, 33 families with a total of 56 children in Schaumburg were served by FH. The overall success rate is excellent. 85% of the families moving in the housing of their choice. In 2025, 16 moms graduated into homestead apartments. Of those, 6 graduated debt-free after paying loans off as much as $20,000 over a 2-year period, and all the expenses for significant debt reduction, which while beginning to build their own savings for the future. This program is built on the same principle as the wishing well. Give a person a fish, and they can eat for a day. Teach the person to fish, and can eat for a lifetime. Thank you.
I have to say, everybody on the committee was really helpful, but Jan was especially enthusiastic, and I really appreciate it. Now,
Hello, everyone. I'm here to talk about Hopeful Beginnings. This is a first time grant application. We've not worked with this group before, but it's a really neat cause. So I'll tell you a little bit more about them. Basically, they offer counseling and adoption services, and they provide support in English and Spanish for families and mothers suffering with postpartum depression and anxiety, pregnancy-related grief and loss, adjustment to parenthood, general case management. They help with baby items and are also really involved in domestic infant adoptions, other alternative. So I want to tell you that in December, Ascension Health opened a community resource center at 1515 Lake Street, which is just off of Lake and Barrington. It used to be urgent care and other services, but what's happening there is really neat, and I know Mayor Craig is really excited to see this. Many of you guys know the POC in Palatine, partners in our community. They have a secondary site in this building, and they're basically the backbone nonprofit. They've also brought in other organizations such as Greater Family Health, CETA, Cook County, Hopeful Beginnings, and the Village of Hanover Park to bring all these services under one roof. And so Hopeful Beginnings just started their location in this building in December. They typically serve over 550 families in their Palatine established location, and in the last few months, they've served already about 22 Schaumburg-Hoffman families out of this center, and they see the need is very big. So they're coming to us for the request of $1,724.50 for a baby closet covering the needs of our smallest neighbors. So what that will entail is a weatherproof donation box for outside, one inside, right outside the office, and the concept is they're really in need of baby wipes. There are places where diapers are provided, and they do work with a nonprofit, the Northern Illinois Diaper Bank, to get the diapers, but oftentimes the concept of wipes becomes like a real need, and it's really, not really paid attention to until a mother has to leave their child for daycare and then you can provide the diapers and not the wipes. So they're actually asking for, let's see, $1,000 for wipes. They're looking for vendors in the future that may be able to supplement this, but just to get them kicked off here, it's the $1,000 for the wipes, and then between the two lockers, it makes up the rest of the money. So really, I think that this is a wonderful opportunity for us. They'd be happy to promote us on social media, put a flag on the donation boxes, crediting the club, and really their goal is to become self-sustainable in terms of this model of providing the wipes for the kids. They too are more than willing to offer community service opportunities to sort children's clothes and really engage us in any way we'd like to participate, but it seems like a very well-run organization. It started in the late 1800s through some Episcopal sisters who offered up foster care for low-income mothers who are trying to work. So they really have a deep history. They have a wonderful board of directors. I know a couple of the doctors on the board, and a wonderful 3-year strategic plan. So I would recommend that we give, I guess, $1,700, and I'll cover the $2,450 towards this cause. Thanks.
Like I said, I have 48 seconds.
Not really. I'm here to talk about two different opportunities for us. One is HOT, the other is Journey's Road Home. I'm going to start with HOT. I had an opportunity to speak with their ED or fundraiser, and that's Chris Seminaro. I don't think that I've spoke to somebody who's just as incredibly enthusiastic as she was about what they were doing. And so I asked them in a period of time, tell me a little bit about what you've been doing, and tell me a little bit about what you want to achieve, something that's new, something that's different, something that's, and when I think I hit a nerve, because she said, what is new with us? I got to tell you something so exciting. She said, we want to expand our program from just doing stage productions to, going on kind of a campus tour and doing plays for 3rd, 4th, 5th graders in lower income areas. And so I thought, okay, that's nice. Go on, tell me more about it. And she just explained to me how important it was for the topics that they're covering, that are everyday, very interesting, serious topics, to include 3rd, 4th, 5th graders who are very impressionable. And in order for them to do that, it takes more money than it does just for them to put on normal, stage production. So they need transportation, they need special portable equipment to put on these productions at different schools. They won't be able to use high school actors because it's going to be during school, so they're going to be using some of their more professional and college actors. That costs a little bit more money. She just made a brilliant case for it, and so I recommended $3,500, $3,400 for them. I think they'll be very enthusiastic about the whole thing. Our next one was Journey's Road Home. So just a quick little kind of preamble to that. I had tried for a couple of weeks to get in touch with Elizabeth, their ED or one of their directors or fundraisers, and didn't have any luck, didn't get a call back. So we had already had a meeting about where the money was going to go. And I said, look, I may not hear back. I don't know. So let's kind of disperse the money. And then I made one last effort, and what had gone into like an empty voicemail, a bright voice picked up and said, this is Elizabeth. So she and I had an opportunity to talk about what they were doing. It is a really wonderful organization. I mean, it's incredible. They serve such a wide expanse of people throughout, I think, a couple counties and multiple towns. Providing food, providing shelter, providing, all the health necessities for people who are, struggling with, habitat issues, struggling with social issues. So it's a really beautiful program. And I think we'd already kind of started divvying out some money before that came in, I could always appeal to asking for some more money. But one of the things that they were doing that's new is they're putting in ADA doorways in each of their buildings, which I'm shocked they didn't have before, right? I mean, how do you not have that? But that's, you know, that's a really important thing for inclusion and everything else. She didn't give me a particular number for how much that was, but I think anything that we give that goes to that to allowing more people to access that kind of, you know, social support is the right thing to do. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot. This thing's too tall. I just wanted to clear up some confusion because sometimes you've heard somebody say I recommended X. If you look on the sheet, you see Y. And Y is because all those recommendations added up more than $25,000. So later I had to go and cut. So the actual numbers we're requesting are the numbers on the sheet. And now, one more time, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear for John Self.
Thank you once again. My second project that I interviewed for is with NSSEO, which is National. Excuse me, hold on a second, please. Special Education Organization. NSSEO Foundation Incorporated was established in 1968, and if I can, I'd like to segue that this was a very big project for former Rotarians, Uncle Joe Lesniak and Doc Baker. I think that was one of the first ones. It was one of the first projects that we probably funded. It's located at 799 West Kensington Road, Mount Prospect, Illinois. The purpose of this organization is to secure and channel resources and support and educational services to students served by Northwest Suburban Special Services Organization. All of the students are high school through transitional age, 15 to 22 years of age. During this year, 2025-26, there are 149 participants in District 211 and District 214. To break that down, Schaumburg Health Estates has 30 adolescents and 15 young adults. Bremen Palatine had 26 adolescents and 22 young adults. In District 214, out of their 5 schools, they had 34 adolescents and 22 young adults. Marianne and I talked extensively about the materials that would be purchased with our Rotary grant selection. Okay, she printed an Excel sheet and submitted it with the reports. It was very easy for us to decipher the most important items for this project. The main goal is to provide students with the tools that help them comprehend the skills that they will need in life. A step-by-step multi-message communication device is definitely needed that will aid the students in developing their versatile and non-verbal skills. A one applicator 5-pack is a switch that works exclusively with their computers, assisting the students in logging in. This would allow the students access without the hassle because many of them lack the physical abilities to do so. It just speeds up the educational process. A variety of adaptive scissors, pouring cups, garden sprayers would be useful for those with hand manipulating skills. Our project selection will allow these students to partially enter the mainstreams that require low-level functioning skills. I'm quite sure that we have seen them and identified them well. Students are placed in restaurants, grocery stores, etc., to learn how to function in life. NSSEO, the skill training and supervision to allow these adolescents and young adolescents to achieve success in their life. Remember, Rotarians, these kids are special. Thank you.
Now the moment you've been waiting for, Nancy Redmond.
Hi there. I'll keep it short as we're getting both on time, but I think this is a very worthy organization. And it's Operation Sweet Life in its mission to assist veterans transitioning from homelessness into safe, stable, and independent living. The organization provides an essential service to those who have served our country and now face the challenge of rebuilding their lives. One of the ways this organization supports veterans is by helping furnish their new homes with donated furniture and household items. These donations provide a sense of stability along with comfort and dignity. However, while the furniture and household goods are generously donated, there remains a critical need to get this furniture into these veterans' homes. So they are looking for a donation. It costs them between $800 and $1,000 for each move because they have to hire a moving company. So I recommend we give them the $1,500. That'll cover about 2.5 moves. And I also talked to Diane at the organization and said perhaps some of our members with strong backs, which isn't me, could help move furniture. And if she knew if we had a date that we wanted to make in the project, she could set up a moving date. So they need this. And I know it says on the paper that they're looking for household goods, but it isn't. It's money for moving. Thank you.
At this time, are there any questions or comments or things you'd like to expand upon, Mr. Gabe? Okay, I appreciate that. I was told we don't need to vote because it's already in the budget.
Yeah, it's already been approved, folks, in the budget, so there's no need for a special motion. We approved this with the annual budget.
Go ahead, Lauren. No, this is the total requested, so there was nobody we cut out or eliminated. They all seem.
What percent of these are we doing a repeat?
Well, most of them. Yeah, I think that's right.
What's the source?
The source of what?
Not that we need one, because I know we don't have more money.
Yeah, good question. Maybe we could do a better job getting the word out. It was posted on our website, announced to the members, but maybe there are other ways to do a better job. Legitimate.
You know, a number of groups we already on our budget line scheduling.
Oh, good point. I mean, you understand what he's saying? So a long time ago, pretty much anybody in the community that we give money to had to go through project selection. But a few years ago, he took some of them that, as you point out, were getting funded every year anyway, and moved them to the budget, the line items, so that they don't have to come forward and we know we're going to get the money. There's seven. Yeah.
They're all $5,000.
So that's $35,000 additional to the $25,000 we're giving out here, additional to the scholarships. Great. So, go ahead, Debbie. I got to plead ignorant to that. Okay, then we'll go ahead and when we call them to tell them we're giving them a check, we'll make sure that that's their requirement. Yeah, so I appreciate that. Anything else? June 5th. Okay, well, I would just then one more time ask you to thank the committee for applause. All of you.
All right, thank you to Roger and the entire committee for their hard work. We will have a presentation. If you met with them, and I saw some of them that said they would be attending lunch, some of them they wouldn't, but if you could, at least the week before, let us know for sure who is going to be here from that organization, so we make sure we have enough lunches prepared and have the room set up as appropriate. I'll remind you again as we get closer. There was another announcement I wanted to make about, I just lost it while I was talking. Second. Yeah, I am definitely getting old, even though I was still the youngest one at that table. well, Shay did change, there's gonna be an update on Shay's, but that was not it. Oh. With the use of the club runner, please try to put all of your things in there, like, use it, and if you need help, feel free to reach out to me, I'll show you how to do it, so that we can have attendance. That's what I wanted to remind everyone. If you have an event like Roger's Project Selection Committee meetings and people attended, you want them to go into makeups for purposes of perfect attendance in this club. You know, Rotary no longer tracks it, we are still tracking it, still getting that out. You need to forward it to Diane and or Gary so that can be updated for your attendance. That is how we're keeping track of the perfect attendance. We are still tracking it, even though Rotary is no longer tracking it. Because we can't let Jack's record end. It's crazy. So, all right, with that, I'd ask everyone to rise. And we will end this four-way test. Four-way test first.
Is it true? Is there a whole certain
With that, our Rotary meeting is ended. Let's go out. As our Rotary president wants us to do, unite for good. If that can be done, it will be done. All right, everyone have a good week.